Hi, everybody. Good morning, evening, afternoon. This video that I I told y'all in the past that unless something really just strikes a nerve and just hits me in a way that I just feel compelled that I have to talk about it, I wouldn't do anything like this because I don't like doing stuff like this. I like talking, I like sharing experiences, and I like entertaining. So, but this I've been in some sort of way for like a month, and it's not in a bad way, but something has just been eating at me. And while I was working out like 10 minutes ago, or no, longer than that now. Now it's like 30 minutes ago. This video, because I had my autoplay going for YouTube in the background, just to have some background noise. This played, this video that I'm going to talk about played in the middle of my workout, and it caused me to stop and just sit down and listen. And then there was another video which I'll put somewhere over here that I had watched the day before, and they almost tie in together. And I'm gonna let this go, and I'll talk about it as it's going. But this is from what is this Harvard Business Review, and the video is pretty much saying you need to be bored.
You need to be bored. You will have less meaning and you will be more depressed if you never are bored. I mean, it couldn't be clearer.
I mean, everyone is so brain hijacked by social media and more that it makes you feel happy, but you are definitely way more stressed out, anxious, and more by just not letting your brain just get away from it.
Let me give you the good side of boredom in general. Boredom is a tendency for us to not be occupied otherwise cognitively, which switches over our
Brain rot.
thinking system to use a part of our brain that's called the default mode network. That sounds fancy. It's really not. The default mode network is a bunch of structures in your brain that switch on when you don't have anything else to think about. So you forgot your phone and you're sitting in a light, for example. That's when your default mode network goes on. We don't like it. My colleague.
Yeah, we don't like it. We don't like to not be distracted. We don't like to not have something. But then again, like, isn't that like built or programmed into us? So like we have to do something. We have to just have something in our hands. We have to touch. We have to move. We have to, or is this like capitalism? I mean, I've done like 200 videos about like everything is about money or no one cares, all this other stuff. But like, it all kind of ties into the same thing. It's just like unyielding built-in desire where we like have to be active into something. We can't just do nothing when sometimes doing nothing leads you to doing something. And that something is actually productive and better and good for you.
In the psychology department here at Harvard, Dan Gilbert, he did experiments where people had to sit in a room for 15 minutes with instructions to do absolutely nothing. And there was nothing in the room to do except there was a button in front of them that they could push. And if they did, they gave themselves a painful electric shock.
I would push the button. I can't do it. Well, I could. I would be like, that's stupid. But I could literally be like, this sucks. I'm just going to push the button to see what happens out of curiosity. But then that's a whole nother thing.
Sit there bored or get a shock. A big majority of the participants gave themselves shocks instead of thinking about nothing. We don't like boredom. Boredom's terrible. Why is boredom so bad? Well, because the default mode network makes us think about things that might be kind of uncomfortable. When you think about nothing, well, your mind wanders and thinks about, for example, big questions of meaning.
Yeah. So this ties in kind of to the other video. Future me, hopefully you actually edited it in there. If I didn't, whatever, y'all can yell at me in the comments. I here recently in the last about 3 weeks have completely removed all my socials, which is a problem because I also like to create content, and the last really remaining socials I have is YouTube. Because I still want to like put something out there. Technically, this is a form of brain rot in its own. Technically, like doing this right now is against the video that I'm watching and then I want to talk about. But at the same time, it's not saying to never do it. It's the aspect of always doing it to where it is your only form of anything. And then it ties into the other video where people seem to feel like their perception of time it's just obliterated. You don't feel like you could this based on the other video. You don't feel like you get good rest. You feel like literally, I know everyone talks about the older you get, the more that faster time seems to go. However, it's not really, it seems it's not really just younger people. I mean, older people. It's also younger people that are like, what the hell? Like, it was a year ago, 2 weeks ago. It was 5 weeks ago. It was 10 years ago. What's happening with our perception of time, and what's some have said, and I kind of agree with it, kind of don't. The biggest change that's happened when we were forced into a lockdown, the whole world got online, and we're just constantly stemmed and advertised to, and our brains are just hijacked with some things that suck away your perception of time. You do your day, whether it's a good rhythm or bad. You could build fences all day. You could just sit in an office all day. But you have that rhythm, and then you spend the rest of your day just being hijacked with advertisements through TikTok or Instagram or whatever else may be. And then you get stuck in the dopamine loop, and then you may do things where you look into how to build something. You're like, well, hey, Kirk, that's a good habit. Like, I'm building something. Shouldn't that be a good thing? You're like, well, yeah, but if you're constantly consuming that and not really putting it into practice, you're doing the same thing. Even if it's a good thing, you're still being hijacked, and your perception of time is just gone. It's getting eaten and took away from you because you're in this rhythm, and then you give the rest of it to advertisers and the content you consume. There's a healthy medium and healthy balance, and I think the point of this video is you need to just, it's not really like purging, you just need to get away from it sometimes. It's not really saying I'm better than I'm glad that was, I dropped my cup. It's not saying you're better than being on socials. You're above being on Instagram or whatever it may be. It's like, no, it's like we shouldn't be so dopamine fried all the time. Even if it's for a good thing, even if you're learning how to do something, you still need to step out of it, step away from it. And in that boredom, which I think he goes over a little bit, I don't remember the full video, is your brain resets and your perception of time starts to change. Your perception of boredom changes. The little mundane task of like just doing the dishes no longer feels like a chore. It feels like I have the privilege and the luxury to even have dishes to do to begin with, right? So yeah.
In your life, what does my life mean? You go to kind of uncomfortable existential questions when you're bored. That turns out to be incredibly important. Incredibly good.
Yeah, big questions good. Small questions
depression and anxiety
pointless
in our society today is because people actually don't know the meaning of their lives, much less so in previous generations. Tons of data show this. And furthermore, we're not even looking. Why not? I'll tell you why not. We figured out a way to eliminate boredom. We've been able almost completely to shut off the default mode network in our brains. How?
Yeah, baby.
The answer
Social
is
media
in your pocket with the screen, which you take out even when you're just standing on the street corner waiting for the light to change. Is like, I might have to wait here for 15 seconds. What are you doing?
It's true though.
Not be bored.
It's true though. Like, there is I've come to notice sometimes I would do it inorganically. I wouldn't realize I was doing it. My commute is long. I have a long commute sometimes on the way home. And sometimes I legitimately will drive home in complete silence. Not because I'm angry, not even because I'm happy. I just don't want anything. I don't want any additional stimulation, thoughts outside of my own thoughts. And I've come to realize that sometimes in those days, when I get home, I'm way more productive and in a better mood than if I was riding on the way home listening to a podcast or just having some pointless, just junk or whatever playing in the background to not really distract me, but it's like noise instead of just your own thoughts and silence. And I've come to realize that more and more. And even when I was in the middle of working out, and I think he talks about this, is like work out without your phone. And I was like, holy, I don't even know if I can do that. But well, yeah.
Because the default mode network is mildly uncomfortable because it sends you to the types of questions that you can't get your mind around. You can't get your arms around. Well, that's a big problem. That's a doom loop of meaning. If every time you're slightly bored, you pull out your phone, it's going to get harder and harder for you to find meaning. And that's the recipe for depression and anxiety and a sense of hollowness, which, by the way, are all.
That hollowness is kind of, I think, what I've been feeling more like purpose. I'm like, what am I doing? And I'm not doing anything bad, but I'm like, could I be doing more instead of just sitting here watching these guys rage and break things or whatever, like stupid, even if it's comedy or like watching something humorous. I'm like, well, that's funny, but now I've spent the last hour laughing, which is good. But like, what else? I could have been doing something else for me. At the end of the day, like it didn't really help me. But it's not saying that you should never do it. Like, I guess this is back to all things in moderation, right? But since, COVID, I don't think moderation is really a thing anymore. It's just hyper consumption, just blast, advertise, brain rot, scroll, buy, everything's fine.
Through the roof. I get it.
Never
you don't
being
want to be
bored.
bored. You need to be bored. Be bored more. Tomorrow, when you go to the gym in the morning after you wake up,
I'm gonna
don't take your
try.
phone.
I'm gonna
Can
try.
you handle it?
No,
Not
but I'm gonna
listening to a
try.
podcast while you're working out.
I'm gonna try.
Just being in your head. I promise you'll have your most interesting ideas while you're
gonna
working
try.
out without devices. It's probably been a long time since you've done that. Commute with nothing, not even the radio.
I do this.
Can you do that?
Yes.
Start getting better at periods that are 15 minutes and longer of boredom and watch your life change. Number one, you'll be less bored with ordinary things in your life. If you get better at the skill of boredom, you'll be less bored with your job. You'll be less bored with your relationships. You'll be less bored with the things that are going on around you. But more importantly, you'll start digging into the biggest questions in your life: purpose, meaning, coherence, significance. And who knows, you might just get happier.
See, that's the point. That's like, I think when I was working out and when he went over this part right here is when I was like, yeah, because I've had such a strong hollowness, I guess is the right word, because I have a lot of things to be happy for, and there's a lot of things I understand that I am privileged for, but it wasn't by accident. It was by design. It was by doing the things that need to be done to get to these points. Like nothing was given to me at all. I've even lived in my car at one point. If you met the me now, you would never know that. You would have no idea that I used to have a gym membership just to take a shower. Like, you would never know that. But all of that came from, at that time in my life, I was not consumed by socials. I didn't have my head into every other thing. It was all just me and my thoughts and what can I do to be better so I can be happier later. And somehow I've come full circle to this point now where I'm at the result of a lot of those thoughts I had 14, 15 years ago. But now I'm back to that. I don't feel so happy again. So like, what's going on?
Ask me all the time, is the doctor taking his own prescriptions? And the answer is yes. Yes, I am. I'm prone to the same pathologies as anybody else because I have the same brain chemistry as everybody else. So what do I do to fight that? And the answer is, well, I do a number of things. I have a no device policy after 7 in the afternoon.
That's early.
I don't sleep with my phone.
I actually couldn't do that because of my work. So that part's unfortunate.
We don't have
I don't sleep with my phone though. Well, I need to stop having my phone close when I'm in bed.
devices when we have meals.
I
in
already
my
don't
family.
do that. No phones
Because
during
we're there for each
hangouts
other.
or
We're
meals.
not there for people who aren't there. 3, I have regular social media and screen cleanses.
So I don't have regular cleanses, but here in the last 3 weeks, I'm done with all of it. Like, the only thing I have is YouTube, which I mentioned earlier. And the problem with that is if I do want to keep creating content, and if I want people to even like watch me, but hi, whoever's watching this, I appreciate you. You could have clicked any other video. You could have done anything else with your time. Time is valuable. We completely disregard how important and precious time is. So thank you if you are here. If you're not here, that's okay. Maybe somehow you would have felt this message without have never even seen this video. Who knows?
Where I don't use my device for longer periods of time. First, it's like children screaming in my head. Well, because that's how, dopamine is saying, get the phone, get the phone.
Shut
That's
them out.
But it calms down. I feel better. And I feel sort of blessed by the end. And, I pick the phone up by the end because I have to check my emails and I have to be a normal, functioning, connected person in the world.
Same.
But it does remind me that my life doesn't have to revolve
Speaking
around
of
these devices. These protocols are really, really helpful. And I recommend them to anybody and everybody. Don't sleep with your phone. No phones during meals. Regular social media fasts. You'll get better. People worry that if they do these things, they're going to miss something. There are ways that you can remedy that. One of the things that you can do is you can have your phone on. You're just not looking at it. And there's only 1 or 2 numbers that can reach you in case of emergencies. Phones can do that, by the way.
So that's true. That's good. Personally, this is something I would love to be able to do, but in the work I do, I can't just be unreachable. I just can't. So that's unfortunate. Now, to some, this may be more possible, may be more real, might be good advice to give away to just where it's not really shutting out the world. You just, we have, progress happens the most when we are able to analyze and critique ourselves and what has happened. But if you never really do that and you're constantly just being hijacked on whatever it is, even if it's learning, your brain could be hijacked on like how to build a table. Your brain could be hijacked on how to, I don't know, start a business with nothing. And you consume this infinitely and then never do anything. But you're always like in that dreamer, but then you never bring it back in and just sit in your thoughts like, is this even possible? How do I even do this? Like those hard, like uncomfortable thought processes that we have to sit with sometimes that we don't like to sit with. You got to sit with it. It does make you better. It is good for you to have crazy thoughts because crazy thoughts become crazy ideas or that we would think is crazy. And then next thing you know, we have airplanes. Next thing you know, we have submarines. Next thing you know, we can use a phone to communicate with someone across the world in a millisecond. All of these were probably insanity ideas at some point. Someone looked at it as like, you are a psycho. And it was because this person was like, you know what? I'm going to go hide in my hobbit hole or whatever it is and figure out a way to communicate with someone across the world in a millisecond. Oops.
If you don't know how to do that, ask your kid. But don't use emergencies as an excuse. Here's something that's not an emergency. What's going on Twitter? It's not an emergency.
I have an X, or I mean, a Twitter. I'm sorry. I said I always do this. I don't have a Twitter or an X. I said I would always do X. I don't have an X. So stupid. I have one just to post when I'm streaming on YouTube. And even then I don't want it.
No, answer nothing. It doesn't matter. The news can wait. Seriously.
Exactly.
Your grandparents didn't know what was going on every single second in Washington, D.C. You're killing yourself with this stuff. Are you kidding me? It's bad for you. So let me say it straight to my kids. Put down your phones.
No, I don't wanna.
You need more media.
It's in my hand.
And so do I.
This is a damn good video. That was Harvard Business Review. Check them out. I'm gonna leave the link to the video in the description. At the end of the day, what I heard this while I was working out, and I was already putting some of this into practice. And in combination of the day before, watching a video about why does it feel like unanimously everyone's perception of time is just vanishing and has nothing to do with age. It has nothing to do with, it's just everyone just feels like their time's being robbed or it's just gone. Like a week is a year has been a decade is you're already dead. And I think all of this ties into the same exact thing. And it's not saying get rid of socials, throw everything away. It's not even saying throw your phone away and be disconnected as a human being from a connected world. If that's what you want to do, that's fine. However, we need to really just be in our own minds and head thought processes a lot more. I feel like in today's world, nothing makes sense. Everything seems so upside down, and that makes sense if no one is ever stopping to look at reality, and we're just stuck in digital fairy tale. Everything is great land, and we never sit there and go, yeah, this sucks. Then it makes a lot of sense why this upside down world we seem to be in the last 5 years, best economy ever. Let me look at my $20 milk and the raise I haven't gotten in 2 years. It's like, woo, everything's so good. But if we're constantly brain hijacked and we're constantly never sitting there with those tough thoughts and tough criticisms, then yeah, your time just vanishes in a second because you're constantly dopamine, constantly getting your serotonin and whatever it is you're getting from your device, whether it's looking at brain rot or learning something or more. And you are just stuck. You're stuck in this infinite loop, this day-to-day loop that repeats. And when you get stuck in that day-to-day loop, it becomes a week to week, a month to month, a year to year. Then you're retired. And then you can't actually retire because everything costs so much. But that's a whole other topic. But yeah, anywho, that's all I got. If y'all even made it this far, I don't know how I don't know how I turned a 5-minute video into 20 minutes. I don't even think most of y'all even made it this far. If you did, tell me what is one thing you are going to try to do different to not be so consumed with just media. It's not really just your phone, but it's just letting yourself be consumed with something that pulls you away from your own thoughts, pulls you away from your own reflection and criticisms on like what you could be doing, what can't you be doing, and more, right? And thanks for watching. This is impossible without you guys. Love you guys.